Hello and welcome to Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits, a Bellish vlog. My name is Meg and I will be your host. You're joining me today as I am going back down the road of Bellish and I am going to be designing a hat this time. So I have chosen my weapons and I have all of this here. So maybe last Christmas, possibly one before, I was gifted this really gorgeous Wonder Woman set of minis, and I've been just holding on to them, not sure what I wanted to do. It comes with wrist cuffs. There's 2 of them, which just cracks me up. And they're just so sweet. So these are fingering weight, sparkling Stellina minis. Now, I went through my stash and I want to make a hat and I want these to be the contrast colors. And so I was looking for a main color that would just work with it. Okay, put my hair on there, yeah. So I ended up with Mad Tosh, and I think this is ink. Yeah, in the ink colorway. This particular one is Twist Light, which is a 75-25, same as the minis, and it's fingering weight 420 yards. So if I'm holding it double, that leaves me with about 210 yards. Now, I am going to be making a slightly slouchy beanie, and in order to make sure that I do have enough yarn, I'm gonna double check my pattern. And I'm gonna get gauge today, and then I will kind of cast on and start making sure that I'm getting the right amount for everything. I thought that this blend would look really great with a new pom-pom that I received from Dragonheart Yarn. So this is the kind of color palette that I've got going on. I'm very excited. I think it's gonna look really good. So our main color is gonna be ink. We're gonna contrast. Now I know that blue is not a lot of contrast, so it's going to be more subtle. I've thought about taking it out. I've thought about picking a completely different one, but I really love the blue. So I think it'll be okay. But again, I think a little bit of a gauge swatch would be just enough. Help me along my way here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to go and cake them. I've got everything set up back here on my island. So I'm gonna go cake them up so that I can start kind of really getting into, I think it'll be okay, but getting into whether or not the full color will work for what I wanna do. So let's get started. Okay, so I have caked everything. These are the ones in question that I'm worried are not gonna have enough contrast. So I'm gonna swatch with these 2, especially I've been thinking that a nice pale blue would look really good. I do have some signature 4-ply, but there are some darker parts in here that I don't think would work. So I'm gonna kind of go through my stash, and got these minis, interesting, but none of them are blue enough. Yeah, I'm gonna go through my stash and I'm gonna kind of look. I think that swapping this one out for a pale blue would be possibly the best choice. Just so that I have that contrast. This does look way too close. I mean, like, I can see the difference on camera. I'm just really worried once you start knitting, you won't get enough. So again, I am going to swatch with those 2, see if they look as bad or if the subtle contrast is actually really nice. I have size 4s to do my ribbing on, and I have size 7s set up with my Chiagu set interchangeables for the body of the hat itself. And then of course, my snap bracelets. I'm gonna have so much fun with this. Yeah, so it's just a little bit of finagling now. I've got the idea of what I want to do. it's that one color that's kind of holding me up, kind of holding me up. So, yeah, I think a light blue would actually look, or a medium blue, not even light blue, medium blue will look very nice. So I'm gonna do a little stash diving into my mini sets. I do have a lot. I think the color that I used for Chilton Blue actually would have been it. So we'll see if I have anything left. I am using my Knit Crate mug here, and this is a non-alcoholic Sam Adams. Very good. So I think that's what I'm gonna do today. So day one, the minis are caked. I do think that the blue is needed for balance, but the background color is just too close. So having the set be more like this still needs a fourth color in my opinion. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find a fourth color and I'm gonna figure that out. And then I will update you with my swatch, and after I cast on, do a little bit of testing to make sure that I am indeed going to get the size that I think I am. If we remember my last Bellish, my numbers were slightly off, which was fine, but the sweater ended up being bigger than I thought it was going to be. Also fine, it's for kids, so totally fine. However, I do want to try to get gauge this time. So I'm going to go through the pattern, I'm going to read up again, and I'm going to double check that I have enough yarn of everything. So thank you so much for popping into our first installment, and I will keep you updated. See you soon. It's day 2 of the project, and last night I went ahead, started the brim, got a little bit of color work done, but I was having a lot of trouble with that third color, that blue. It was just not working. I did try, it was not even close. So then I was like, okay, I know what I need. I need this blue, Dusk, from Knit Picks, and it was like this kind of denim-y dark blue, and I was like, for sure this will be fine, because when you put it up you could totally tell a difference, right? It'll be totally fine. Well, turns out when you start knitting it, there was not a difference. There was almost no difference. So I only did one row, and I was looking at it, and I was looking at it, and I was like, no, it's not gonna work. So I dove back into my mini selection that I had from last year's advent calendar of Bad Wolf Girl Studios, and I grabbed Chilton Blue. Yeah. And it's just this, like, it's not baby blue. It's such a hard one. So if I were to compare it, in Knit Picks Brava, it's a little darker, but this is called Denim. So mine's brighter, but this is the contrast that I was looking for, which I'll show you these guys in a second because I got another idea. So bad. So yes, I ended up pulling this many of Chilton Blue. I had 14 grams left, and I was just like, I just know that this one is going to have enough contrast, but it isn't powder blue, which I didn't want. I didn't want like the lightest, like I have a lot of the Knit Picks powder blue. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this blue, and I can't produce yarn right now because I am not doing it right now for the baby, and that's fine. But I was just mad because I can't just go whip one out like I normally would to get the blue that I needed. No. So luckily I still had this in stash. So now we've got the 3 minis that were provided through the kit, and this one, which I think is a really nice palette. And I'm keeping everything in my Wonder Woman bag. It is a simple fold over drawstring bag that my mom made me maybe 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. But I was so excited to have a Wonder Woman bag because, I mean, it's not anything crazy, but it's on brand, and you know how much I love a theme. I've got my bracelets on in case I need to defend it against any bullets, and I have I have my blue on today. Today I'm wearing my Simply Cozy collection. This is the Simply Cozy. It's the High Tide and Simply Cozy. So this is a Simply Cozy. It has ribbing on the bottom instead of lace. It is a split hem. It's an up and over the shoulder type of design. This is knit and fingering weight. I did it in my Black Lake colorway, and yeah, so I'm very comfy and it fits the bump, which I'm so jazzed about. I knew that I made this with ease, and I figured that it would still work, and I still have a little bit of like give, which is awesome. And then I grabbed my red, Wonder Woman red mug, which is from Dogfish Head, one of our favorite brewery, pub, restaurant places. So really, I tried very hard to be on theme, just boom. But I tried. It's the best I could do. It's the best I could do. So last night, I decided that I want to do a folded brim, and I weighed out my yarn. I looked at the pattern. It says I need 191 yards of worsted. And I'm like, cool, that's fine. So I ended up just knitting about 5 or so inches, no, little less than 5 inches of ribbing in ink. And then that was a 2x2 rib, and I did a regular cast on. Personally, I really like the look of a tubular cast on. And if this edge bugs me, I may pick it up and sew a tubular bind off to get a nicer edge. Yeah. I just really like that folded over, rolled over edge on hats now. And the 2x2 tubular cast on is a little bit more to do. Now, if you're doing a folded brim, you're gonna end up with this as your edge. Like it'll fold, you'll sew it, and then you'll have a nice thing. So it really doesn't matter what you do. And I mean, like, not for nothing, I still could fold this in half, but it's not enough ribbing for me. So, show you a little sneak peek of how we're doing. So this was last night. I have a little star on there from Simply Serving. It reminded me of Hermes, and it was as Greek as I could do. I have a lot of charms. I've collected a lot over the years. I've traded for a lot over the years. I've been gifted some wonderful ones. I had nothing Wonder Woman. So this is as Greek as it gets. It's this cute little gold flyer. So yeah, I have the blue. This is my Chilton blue, and this is their red. And I keep saying there because I left the packaging downstairs and I cannot remember. I think, no, I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna put it on the screen, and then I'm gonna grab it so I can talk about it better next time. I did a US 4 for the ribbing, and I started with a 7 on the hat, and then the circumference on my needles was a little tight, so I swapped over to a preset Susan Bates 8, which are these blue ones. These are years and years and years old, and they're fine. They're like not my favorites. I love Giagu's, but I have so many projects going on right now that my needles are kind of everywhere, and I'm hunting the shorter, like 9-inch red cords that I had. So I have like a 6, a 6 and an 8, or 6, 6 and a 7, and none of them are really long enough to like do the thing. But yeah, so hat is coming along really, really well. I'm thinking we're gonna fold this brim up almost its entire length so far, covering the first row of blue. So it will, no, try it on this side. So it will look something like that as I start out. Oh, I am excited. It's coming out really well. So this will be what I work on tonight. I got 4 rounds of color work done. Like stars. I got 4 stars of color work done. And I'm keeping everything, like I said, in my little Wonder Woman bag. Ah, makes me so happy. Okay, so just put that aside for now. Taking another sip of coffee. What I was thinking was, wouldn't it be cute to have the baby match me? So, grabbing my ever trusty knit picks, there'll be a link down below if you would like to use it during your order. That would be great. I get a couple pennies thrown my way. If you don't, that is fine, but it's there, and it does, you know, kind of, it changes nothing except for helping me out a little bit. So if you'd like to, that would be awesome. So this is Knit Picks Mighty Stitch. It's one of my favorite navies, incredibly soft. So I'm going to use Knit Picks Mighty Stitch. The only denim blue I have, it happens to be worsted, which is gonna match. So this is 208 yards, this is 218. My gauge should be able to make that up. So this will be the blue. This will be interesting, trying to hold these up. Then I have not a lot, I have candy apple red, like fire engine super red, from Knit Picks, which I think is just called red. And then I have Heartland from Lion Brand Yarns in the redwood colorway. And this one had a little bit more depth to it. You can see it has almost like a tweedish type of thing. So this will be the red. And then the gold is what's messing me up. So initially I grabbed Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Tweed Barn Brass Heather. And it's kind of like a dirty gold. And I thought for a little boy's hat, that would be a nice palette. It wouldn't scream Wonder Woman. It would just be really like subtly kind of close to mine. I also have this gold of Comfy Worsted in Maize from Knit Picks, which is 109 yards, so that's 218. So this matches the first gauge, so that would be brighter. And then I have some hand dyed, I forget what this colorway was. It might have been Golden Snitch at one point. I don't remember. Whatever this was, it was a thing. And this was one of mine, and it's on like a sport, so I'd probably try to hold it double. And that would be the fourth one. So I think I'm in between this combo or this combo. Who wants to vote? Oh, yeah, like this one's much brighter. This one's more muted. And it's just gonna depend on what kind of vibe I want the hat to have. So I think I might continue, I'll continue on with my hat first. And then I will kind of see which one goes with it most. I think this gold and this one would be the closest. Yeah, because these are getting orange, the other ones are getting orangey. So I think these would be the closest. Now this is hand wash, which is normally how I wash my hats anyway. I just wouldn't tumble dry low. I would lay it flat to dry in a warm area without friction. That's the don't tumble dry it, because it will felt unless you want it to felt. But it's Peruvian Highland wool. I guess that's the other thing I have to think about. This is going to be on a head that might not have much hair. Probably have some hair, but might not have much hair. So yeah, I'm in between. But I knew exactly what blue I needed to go with this. That is, I think I made a pair of mittens out of that exact set of navy and denim. Patrick has them, they're so good. All right, well, I think that's everything for this check-in. I will de-bracelet while I work for the day. My hands are just not as tiny as my wrists are small, but the snap bracelets are quite tight. So, got like snap bracelet punctures. But yeah, so I really want to make a bibba hat. The smaller needles, the smaller circumferences actually will come in handy at that point. But for my hat right now, with my hands, I've been making a lot of planets recently and they're all on a 1. So doing all of Saturn's tests have definitely been very hard on my wrist. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm making a plushy planetarium, which I'll be showing off in the next podcast when I get some bandwidth to do so, hopefully next week. And hopefully I'll have a finished Bellish hat as well to show you. So I want to wrap this one, this everything up, and I will check in when I have maybe 1 or 2 more colors on this hat and see what I can get done today. But I've got some homework to do now, so I shall pop off and I will talk to you soon.